eXo. Let's give them a little story about your life. This one's serious. Northwest. Listen.
I see my life and my visions of death. Can my soul be risen again? I see my life and my visions of death. Can my soul be risen again? I see my life and my visions of death. Can my soul be risen again? I see my life and my visions of death. Can my soul be risen again? As a boy growing up, I never had much. My mom had my family, her dad 3 times a month. Yeah, that was cool for me. That was it, yeah. When Nan gave me £1, I thought I was rich. 10 years down the line, life took my innocence. Been faced with imprisonments, my black skin's the evidence. My heart is good, but that speaks no relevance. Offspring of immigrants, northwest settlements. Shit, it's hard in this jungle. Concrete, modernized, stone set rubble. Hunt or a prey, I hunt and I pray. I don't get slumped out and die lonely. It's a shame, but I know that they clock me. Hand on the handle, cop back and watch me. I see my life in my visions of death. Can my soul be risen again?
There can be no black-white unity until there is first some black unity. We cannot think of being acceptable to others until we have first proven acceptable to ourselves. Concerning nonviolence, it is criminal to teach a man not to defend himself when he is the constant victim of brutal attacks. There are problems in the community. Some of those examples of those problems are the vices that destroy the moral fiber in our community. Drunkenness, drug addiction, prostitution, organized crime that robs the Negro community of probably 90% of its economic
I feel it gaining
potential.
on me, breathing down the back of my neck. I can feel it in the shadows, I can hear when it steps. Trying to creep up on me, catch it slipping, lay me to rest. Am I paranoid, there is really visions of death? Could this be my last rhyme or the last time you see me in flesh? Could this be my final hour before I meet up with the reaper of death? Could this be the end of my curse, living on earth? Is it time for me to enter a hearse? Will I live another second after finish this verse? Or is it time for my mind, body, spirit to part? Take away all the pain from my heart. Is this a start to an end or an end to a start? Crossover from the light to the dark or from the dark to the light? Is it heaven or hell in my sight? Am I too late to make wrongs right? Have I reached the final chapter in my so-called life? Visions of death.
Don't say it's Southern senators, this is the government. This is a government filibuster. It's not a segregationist filibuster. It's a government filibuster. Any kind of activity that takes place on the floor of the Congress or the Senate, that's the government. Any kind of dilly-dallying, that's the government. Any kind of pussyfooting, that's the government. Any kind of act that's designed to delay or deprive you and me right now of getting full rights, that's the government that's responsible. And anytime you find a government involved in a conspiracy to violate the citizenship or the civil rights of a people, then you are wasting your time going to that government expecting redress. Instead, you have to take that government to the World Court and accuse it of genocide and all of the other crimes that it is guilty of today. So those of us whose political and economic and social philosophy is black nationalism have become involved in the civil rights struggle. We have injected ourselves into the civil rights struggle, and we intend to expand it from the level of civil rights to the level of human rights. As long as you fight it on the level of civil rights, you're under Uncle Sam's jurisdiction. You're going to his court expecting him to correct the problem. He created the problem. He's the criminal. You don't take your case to the criminal, you take your criminal to court. When the government of South Africa began to trample upon the human rights of the people of South Africa, they were taken to the UN. When the government of Portugal began to trample upon the rights of our brothers and sisters in Angola, it was taken before the UN. Why, even the white man took the Hungarian question to the UN, and just this week, Chief Justice Goldberg was crying over 3 million Jews in Russia about their human rights, charging Russia with violating the UN Charter because of its mistreatment of the human rights of Jews in Russia. Now you tell me, how can the plight of everybody on this earth reach the halls of the United Nations when you have 22 million Afro-Americans whose churches are being bombed, whose little girls are being murdered, whose leaders are being shot down in broad daylight? Now you tell me why the leaders of this struggle have never taken it before the United Nations. So our next move is to take the entire civil rights struggle problem into the United Nations